Welcome to the 2024 Economic Preparation and Depression Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday, December 1st, 2024 edition. We've made it to a new month, new beginnings, new goals, new plans, and new missions to be accomplished by all Americans across this great nation. Today, we're just going to briefly be talking about debt, Bitcoin, AI, and the economy, as well as other things, briefly here today on this Sunday. Hope everyone's doing well. Please hit that like button if you already have. I appreciate everyone's support, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope that you continue to plan your financial future as best you can as we all get ready for 2025 in about 30 days or so. So here we go. Nearly half of Americans are still paying off 2023 holiday debt, a survey says. Now, this is according to Marketplace.org survey that they did. Holidays are number one in terms of a big spending spike. You know, the media has been promoting these spending spikes at these outlet malls, these big outlet malls, indoor malls, and other outlet places where people have been getting deals online. Cyber Monday is coming up, as you know. And so, but many Americans are paying off debt from last year, and that's good news, even though they're going to be adding a little bit to it this year to the holidays. But most people that I know, I've talked to, so they're only getting essential gifts, you know, for those for kids and family members, sick and shut in, those who haven't seen in a while, are taking vacations or trips that they haven't been in a while. They're doing that and getting that out the way before things, for a little bit of a belt tightening coming into the beginning of 2025. So that's the good news. So like I said, Ted Rossman here says, the senior industry analyst at Bankrate.com, he says people want to have a good holiday, quote, they want to celebrate with their kids and other family members and friends. It's one of the two main times of the year that people splurge. The other one would be summer vacation, but holidays are really number one in terms of a big spending spike. This is according to Ted Rossman, senior industry analyst at Bankrate.com. So he is right about that. You know, 6 in 10 people with credit card debt have had it for at least a year. It's part of the cycle. You know, you borrow a little bit to make a little bit of money, then you pay it back in a revolving cycle within 6 months or a year. And that's been the case with 6 in 10 people with credit card debt have had it for at least a year. That's up 10 percentage points from 3 years ago, still within the pandemic flow here. But you can see that carrying debt on credit cards is not really a big deal as many people make it out to be. But now that interest rates are starting to stabilize, many people are starting to knock out that debt, and that's good news. Now, Bitcoin begins to flirt with 100K as crypto industry rallies for President-elect Trump. As you know, President-elect Trump is a big component of Bitcoin. I'm not too familiar with Bitcoin or any of its other stablecoin alternatives, so I don't have an opinion one way or the other or anything. But I know that it is going up again, and that's good news for those of you that hold Bitcoin. As this next president coming in, he's very Bitcoin friendly, so Bitcoin could be going to the moon. You know, it's already going to up to 100K almost now, and so. You know, pump and dump, whatever you want to do, make a little money from it, but don't bet the whole farm on it. Just like any investment, you know, there is risk, very heavy risk involved, and it's volatile. It can get 100K one day, next day you can wake up and be 10K or something. So that's the thing about these things that are based on this type of thing. These economists say artificial intelligence can narrow U.S. deficits by improving healthcare, quote. So, you know, we're moving toward this automation economy. We're also moving toward a digital economy, right? Cashless society, all of that good stuff that we've been talking about for months and years, that everyone else has been talking about. But AI is here to stay. Unfortunately, it's recording our actions, trying to get more human-like. It's recording our words, our thoughts, our processes. Everywhere we go now, facial recognition is number one thing. And so now that these AI technologies are getting better and more, quote, human-like, many businesses and economists think that artificial intelligence can help to improve the economy instead of shocking the economy with all the things that are going to be taken, all the jobs that could be taken away with this AI stuff. So the report that they came out with forecast that AI could lower the U.S. budget deficit by 1.5% of GDP by 2044. Now that's a long time away. You're talking 20 years away. And who knows how high, if we're still on this U.S. dollar, if the U.S. dollar lasts that long, we'll have deficits way above what they're saying here, well above the $36 trillion deficit we have now. And so I'm not too sure about that. But AI is here to stay. And healthcare AI is huge. As you know, you get telemedicine. You can't even get a doctor. You have to go telemedicine. Some of these doctors have And general practitioners have wait times up to 6 months. And was before the pandemic. Now into this health crisis, and after the health crisis, some people are saying they're still waiting. I have a waiting list for they're booked out up to 3, 4, 5 months in advance. You can't get a specialist or anybody. So it's very interesting in the U.S. in terms of healthcare. So the fiscal deficit will continue to boom. And this is with or without AI being a more impact in Americans' lives, especially in healthcare. The deficit will continue to boom here. And it's already topped $1.8 trillion with the fiscal year ending in September 30th. National debt stands at $32 trillion, as I said before. The article just mentioned that. So you can see that, hey, spending is going to continue on the government side and on the healthcare side and on the defense side. It's always going to be the case, and we're always going to run deficits on that, at least in this dollar-based system where, you spend $1, but you owe $2 back in this dollar-denominated debt system. It's always going to be the case. So just be mindful of that. Now, with the holidays... Why the holidays by Investopedia.com could be a last hurrah for the U.S. stretch. You asked about for the stretch U.S. consumer, the U.S. spender here. So Black Friday this year wasn't as hot as it was in other prior years. I've heard that it was kind of more or less the same type of spending going on. From Ralph Lauren to TJ Maxx to Marshalls, there was some spending, but nothing too crazy. A lot of people said they just spent on basic stuff. But sales were stronger in some areas. Walmart, TJ Maxx, of course. Stronger, but not necessarily eye-opening or groundbreaking, record-breaking by any stretch of the imagination. So we'll see what happens. So since spending is going up a little bit, credit card debt is going up exponentially higher, and on top of that, many people, are at a point of diminishing returns in terms of electronics and things they really need, like electronics, cars, all that's at a point of diminishing returns right now because most people have what they need, either a used car, a new car, or public transportation, or they have the household items that they need, many big screen TVs, laptops, tablets, phones, you name it. So many consumers are already stretched out, and they're just looking at ways to save on essentials, according to Shedley Lewis, Vice President of Corporate Finance at Moody Ratings. So many Americans right now are looking for ways to save on the essentials. Only people that are spending freely right now are the top 1% of affluent Americans making over $400K or something like that, $500K. They're spending freely because they still get a bunch of interest payments and a bunch of other investments working for them that they can spend freely on a lot of this stuff, boats or whatever they need for the holiday season. So that's what's happening here in this economy. So continue to prepare, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, we're not out of the woods yet. Yes, the elections in this year is going to be ending, but we're not out of the woods yet as we go into 2025 because we still have a slight uptick in unemployment, and we also have a slight uptick in inflation, and those are two big numbers that most economists are going to be watching heading into January after all this spending dies down and we get back to the doldrums of paying bills in those first 3 months of 2025 and stuff like that. We're going to see what happens, how much is left, how much of the economy is left after all the spending has died down and we subtract all the inflation out. So continue to prepare, ladies and gentlemen. I'll talk to you soon later on in this upcoming week. Happy December 1st. God bless. Be safe.